Hi guys, my name is Siobhan and the comic I chose is Persepolis, The Story of a Childhood by Marjane Satrapi. It is part one of two that make up the whole story. So who is Marjane Satrapi? She is an Iranian graphic novelist, cartoonist, illustrator, film director, and children's book author. Persepolis is one of her best-known works. In Persepolis, Satrapi takes you into her unique experience and lets you see the world through her eyes growing up during the Islamic Revolution. She is trying to show you an image of Iran that is based on real truths and memories, ones that are meant to inform Western audiences, not ones based on contemporary Eurocentric biases steered towards extremism, fundamentalism, and terrorism. Satrapi's intention with Persepolis is to bridge the gaps between the East and the West, and more importantly, remember those who were displaced, those living under oppressive regimes, and those who lost their lives defending freedom or fighting in war. I like how informative the comic is. I actually felt like I learned a lot from it. It's very eye-opening. I also like how incredibly complex Satrapi's black and white images can be despite the minimal color palette. It's interesting working through her thought process and studying her techniques on how to keep an audience invested. The images are relatively simplistic in style, but this means each panel is concise and full of valuable information. Satrapi finds interesting ways of using lighting to guide the eye, amplify moments, and direct the reader's attention towards the important details of the scene. She also uses shapes and patterns as effective tools that add interest to the panels. They also serve to reinforce the tone of the moment. While the simplicity of Satrapi's drawing style imbues the childlike innocence of the narrator, who is a small child when the story begins, it is not merely limited to innocent content. So, trigger warning. War, protest, death, and the struggle for freedom are central to Satrapi's comic. There's a lot of violence and trauma that haunts her stories, and in these moments, the drawing style extends to heavier contexts. It never gets insanely gory, but the images are still hauntingly disturbing. This is why I do not recommend this comic to someone who is looking for a feel good or light read. It's a heartfelt story, but it's more steered towards those who are seeking to understand what living through the hardships of revolution and resistance were like from a non Eurocentric point of view. Persepolis is now an animated film for anyone who wants to check it out without reading. I haven't watched it yet, but I'll let you know what I think once I do. Thanks.